All right, week 10, college football breakdown here. Good little Friday night battle in the ACC. Actually, not a good battle at all. We got Duke traveling to Chestnut Hill, taking on Boston College. If you said this preseason, probably would have sounded crazy, but 10-point road favorite here in this matchup. Pretty low total as well at 47. Right off the bat, Boston College, a team that I can't bet. They're coming off a loss to UConn last week by double digits on the road. Offense has been a main issue for them all year. I actually kind of like Boston College's defense. You know, they don't have elite talent up front, but I think those linebackers are good. I like what they have in the secondary, but the reality of it is, and we've seen this all year, when you have as bad of an offensive line as them, you're just going to be uncompetitive in a lot of these games. You know, they've got the quarterback in Phil Jurkovec to at least be serviceable. They've got a guy in Phil Garwo that was over 1,000 yards last year, over 5 yards per carry. They got Zay Flowers, who people have mentioned as a potential first-round pick at the wide receiver position. But this goes to show you that if you suck on the offensive line, you're not going to win football games. And I've gone to the well with Boston College 2 or 3 times this year. It hasn't worked out. I would be a fool to bet Boston College in this game. With that being said, you know, Duke is still a team that is in the first year of a rebuild themselves. You know, Mike Elko taking over from a pretty bad situation that David Cutcliffe left him. 5-3 on the year is certainly much better than a lot of people thought they'd be at this point. It does feel a little bit rich on the road in a conference game to be laying double digits in this spot. And the one thing I'll say about Duke that I don't like about them, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, their secondary is not good. If they're going up against a viable quarterback, I would not trust their secondary one bit. They are good against the run, and that's really the main issue that Boston College has had this year, is getting Phil Garwo going in the run game. So you have to account for, and this is kind of why I'm not going to have a play on this game, but you have to account for at some point, Jeff Hafley and Boston College has got to look at things and say, we cannot run the football. We're in a matchup where, you know, taking some shots down the field might work out for us. This is not a very good Duke secondary. So we might see Boston College kind of break tendency here a little bit. You know, Duke's offense is fine. You know, Riley Leonard had a good start to the year and it's kind of fallen off a little bit, but he's a mobile quarterback and he is a big factor in the run game. You know, I think their run game aside from that is solid. And I think their offensive line has actually held up pretty well as well. But like I said, my issues with Boston College doesn't lie within that defense. They're really well coached. Jeff Hafley is obviously a defensive-minded head coach from his time at Ohio State. I wouldn't be surprised if Boston College actually, you know, holds Duke to 20, 21, 24 points or something like that. The issue is I just don't know what we're going to get from that offense. I can't bet Boston College, and that's a me thing. You know, if you like Boston College, fire on them, because I do think this line is a little bit rich for a team that's still probably a little bit overvalued after a pretty easy start to the season. I think the better way to approach this game would probably be the under. You know, I see this more as a 21, 13, 21-17 type of game that Duke squeaks out. But I'll say it again. You have to account for at some point that the answer seems so obvious for Boston College. Stop running the football. Teams like them and Iowa State, who continue to just pound their head against the wall when it's clearly not working, you would think that at some point you'd start making some adjustments. I should have mentioned this earlier as well. Phil Jurkovec is not 100% to go in this game. You know, I don't really see a huge difference whether he plays or whether it is Emmett Moorhead. Either way, though, I think the better way to play this game is probably the under. This is a bad football game. I would not bet this football game. And if you're being honest with yourself, if this game was on Saturday at 12 p.m., you wouldn't be betting it either. Don't bet these standalone games on Friday night that don't deserve to be bet. I would turn my attention elsewhere. There's a better game on later that night that we'll get to in a second. No play for me. Heaviest lean in this game is towards the under 47. All right, before we get out of here, I know you see this shirt right here. Head over to proud90.com for all your golf apparel needs. Obviously, got very unique but comfortable polos with the colder weather coming. Great selection of hoodies and quarter zips. Go to proud90.com and browse their selection. If you see anything you like at checkout, use code Fordham. Going to get you 15% off your entire order. That's code Fordham at proud90.com is going to get you 15% off your order. Support me, support Proud90, proud90.com.